that's fragile. Fellas, back for another weekend brewing. 2 weekends on the trot, my goodness. So, what are we doing today? We are doing a Dead Pony Club clone that is no longer a Dead Pony Club clone, because I don't have the hoppage for it, so I altered it. I've got some Eldorado that I'm dying to try, so we're going to do some stuff with Eldorado, some stuff with Citra, and another big dry up with Mosaic. This is going to be a sessionable beer, a sessionable pale, for definite. There's like just over 3 kg of malt, and that's it. 3 kgs of pale malt, some Crystal 80, some Crystal 40 I do believe, the recipe's in there, which I'll get it out in a minute. It's damn cold today, it's frigging cold. So the mash tun's a bit cooler than what it normally is. So I've set the mash water a tad higher to account for that, and we're going to get in and doughed in because we've luckily got an early morning start, so we can crack on and get done before the sun goes down. Don't let the sun go down on me. So for this one, fellas, it isn't Crystal 40, I was telling lies. It's Crystal 10 and Crystal 80. So we're having 3 kgs of the old pale malt. Oh, nearly forgot to put in the old wort chiller. Friggin' hellfire. The old wort chiller? What the fuck am I on about? I forgot to put in. Ding! 3 kgs of the pale malt. 1, 2, 3. Well, there we want 500 grams Crystal 10. That's 400. 500 grams Crystal 10 and 190 grams Crystal 80. But I might change that to 90 grams. 90 grams of Crystal 80. Ain't that a pretty sight? Starting to get some water. Some water, shall we? I just hope the gamble of having it a tad higher for the loss of temp in the mash tun is going to pay off. Bang on with the mash temp. So the gamble paid off. I'm going to get a lid on this. We're all set up for recirculating. And if we drop temps, which we will do today because it's friggin' freezing cold, then we're all ready. Ready, rocking and rolling. Just going to start recirculating the hot liquor tank again. See what you can even see there. There we friggity go. Friggin' right. Still holding temp, so we're not even recirculating yet, so right. But I want to get talking about this little. This was a package sent by Richard Spate, and he messaged me saying, how the hell do you get in this? He didn't message me saying that. He messaged me saying, how the fuck do you get in here? He didn't message me that. No, he messaged me saying that he'd got a New Zealand beverage. A New Zealand beverage. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But he was lying to me. He sent me a 10-year-old scotch. Oh, for all my hard work and dedication to the channel. Oh, you were, you know. It's not a 10-year-old scotch, eh? Anyway, he sent me this frigger. Superconductor Double IPA. So that's what he sent me. 8Y Brewing Company. Superconductor Double IPA. New Zealand Ale. So, he sent me a message saying, I've been rummaging around in the fridge today and found 2 of these. I believe it may be just beyond its best before date. You can have one if you want one. I said, friggin' right. So he said, yeah, I'll let you have both, but I promised my assistant brewer he can have one. So thank you ever so much. So Superconductor 8-wired brewing company, bone dry and ultra hoppy double IPA brewed with 80% more hops than our already extremely hoppy hop wired IPA. Thank you very much, sir. Can't have it this week because I'm on call, so next week I'll do a video about it. We've had another successful mash using the Herms coil. I don't know whether you can see. 66 degrees maintained. The mash is done, and she's cleared out really well again. So now we're going to shut all the pumps down, change all the pipes around, and get her into the boil pot. I've got it set up so the mash is coming out through pump 2. We'll take the recirculation pipe here that's in the top of the HLT and put it into the boil pot. So that's pumping the water out into the boil pot, and then pump 1 is going to be taking the sparge water down this pipe through the pump and through the coil. So the sparge water is going to clean out the coil back in. Oh, friggity right. We're almost done transferring, and the colour it's picked up. Really happy with that colour, and I'm glad that I knocked 100 grams off the friggin' Crystal 80. We're going to be having a bit of a break from the hop scheduling this time. It was getting manic. I couldn't do anything for half an hour because every 5 minutes I was dropping hops in the last brew, and you couldn't set to cleaning anything because the time was going off. So let's run through the hop scheduling while we wait for that to transfer and finish. There are no hops going into this until we start adding 25-minute addition. So we go a whole 35 minutes into the boil, and then we chuck in 10 grams of Citra, and we chuck in 5 grams of El Dorado, and then we let it go until we've got 5 minutes left on the boil, and we chuck in 30 grams of El Dorado. See where this is going. And then once that's done, kill the heat, drop it down to 80, and we'll give her a bit of a steep with 30 grams of El Dorado. And then the dry hopping is another big dry hop with 80 grams of Mosaic and 75 grams of Citra. God. Post boil we should be getting 1035. So we'll see. Alright fellas, we're done. We've got the 26 litres that we need in the boil pot, and just looking at the notes here, we need 1031. So we want 1031. Oh, friggin' rights, boys. I'll take that. We've only friggin' done and got it. So now we can start the boil. We've hit a good boil now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the lid. So now we start the timer for an hour boil. I'm going to set my timer on my phone for countdown of 35 minutes, and when the alarm goes off, that'll leave 25 minutes to the end of the boil, where we can chuck in the Citra and El Dorado. Time to add the first hop addition. Boiling away like crazy. In we go with the steam of madness. Here we go with the hop addition. The first one, 10 grams of Citra, 5 grams of Eldorado. So as you can see from that little short snippet just through the lid, you can see where the hop line came. And that's because the elements are pulsing on and off, so it will boil really vigorously and it'll look like it's going to boil over, and then it'll just drop back down again, and it just keeps doing that. So it pulses through, it doesn't keep going and boil overs. It's a good system, it seems to work well. I like Captain Kirk. Last hop addition of the boil is 30 grams of Eldorado for 5 minutes. That's it, fellas, the boil is over, it's done. Elements are off. So now we're going to hook up the water chiller. Now we're going to drop it down to 80 degrees. And once we're at 80 degrees, we have this. Another 30 grams of Eldorado to sort of steep in there a little bit. So let's get it hooked up. Fellas, it takes no time at all. Now it's autumn, it just drops the temperatures. Oh. Right again, right. Alright fellas, we're down to temps, time to get her in bed, but I'll just show you this gravity reading before I do. But we are 1 point off what we need, so we are 1034. And it was an estimated original gravity of 1035. 1 point off. Now all that's left to do is pitch the frigate of yeast. USO 5. And that's it, fellas. That's another brew day. One after the other. In concession. Weekend after weekend. I'll have to put an end to this. So I came up with a name for her. I'm calling her the DQ... No. Calling her the N.Q.D. The N.Q.D Pale. Not quite dead. Pony Club. Because we altered it so much. Just look at the destruction. But I'm happy with what's left in there. There's just a bit of sludge in the bottom. That hot blocker worked perfectly this time. Gave it a chance to settle, and everything settled down to the bottom, and then you just pull the little sleeve up and everything sort of filters through the hops that are already there. It worked a treat, pumped it to the very last drop, and no blockages. So that's it, fellas, she's in bed. About 4 or 5 days we will give her the bloody dry up in that she deserved. And that's it, fellas. So as always, don't forget to thumb up the video because you don't want to do. Don't forget to subscribe. There's a little red button down here that says subscribe. Click it and you won't see what's coming up next. Share the video. Good out there, folks. To see you, and until next time, I'm out of here.